The risk assessment allows the probation officer to identify the risks and needs of a client so they can work collaboratively with the client on a case plan, which might include a referral to treatment if the client is motivated to engage in those types of services.
In Jackson County, a probation officer's job is more than just making sure their clients follow the rules. They conduct a client assessment for each individual and use that information to make specific recommendations that will best support that person and reduce their chances of recidivism or reoffending. This all happens in the Community Justice Department, and a lot goes into these assessments.
What is the goal when conducting a risk assessment?
The risk assessment allows the probation officer to identify the risks and needs of a client so they can work collaboratively with the client on a case plan, which might include a referral to treatment if the client is motivated to engage in those types of services.
So how has the risk assessment process changed?
So when I started, which was 15 years ago, the risk assessment was mostly static factors, things that had already happened, and that POs couldn't really intervene in any meaningful fashion. For the most part, the risk stayed what it was, no matter how the client did or didn't do, except for time. That's changed dramatically. Now we use a risk need assessment that has both static factors, those that measure past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior, and then dynamic things, those things that are current to this time and place for this client, and how that impacts their risk to recidivate, which gives POs a game plan to work with clients to help reduce risk.
What type of feedback has community justice gotten from probation officers about the assessment process?
Well, over the years, I think the feedback's gotten more positive. When we first started this process of this change, there was a lot of what we call train and pray. You get trained once and then good luck. We have more trainings more often, and we have in-house people who are trained specifically to be trainers for both the LSCMI and the WARNA, which are the two assessments we use for the dynamic assessments, the risk needs assessment, one for men and one for women.